Hello, my name is Johnny Jones, and I'll be teaching you how to solve linear equations. So basically, linear equations are algebraic expressions they use variables without exponents. So they graph a straight line, basically. The standard equation is y equals x. This is a graph of y equals x. As you can see, y is 0 or x is 0, where x is 2, y is 2. There are two different formats. The first format is the slope-intercept form. And in this form, you have an equation of a line in relationship to its slope and y-intercept. The formula is y equals mx plus b. The other format is the point-slope form. And in this form, you have the equation in relationship to its slope, but given also with the point along that line. And the formula for that is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So we're going to talk about both forms, and the first one is the slope-intercept form. So basically, we're going to figure out what does y equals mx plus b means. So first, we must notice that the m stands for the slope of the line. So m tells you how steep or how straight the line will be. Then you have y, which is the output of the equation. So any point along that line, whatever the x value is, y will be the output, or whatever the equation is. The solving of that equation gives you the y value. B is the y-intercept. It is also the y value at which x equals 0. And x is the input of the equation, depending on if the slope and the y-intercept have already been given. And you will just input the x. So to solve this equation, we must first realize, using this formula, there are going to be some givens. Usually every variable is given in the slope-intercept form except for one. And you just have to solve for the remaining variable. And in the beginning stages of algebra, we usually just solve for only x and y. But as you mature and as this becomes easier to you, you'll be able to understand the concept to be able to solve for the slope as well as the y-intercept. So for one example, we're going to take a problem. Here we go. We're going to find the equation for the line where the slope equals 2 and the y-intercept is negative 4. So first we're going to plug in the givens. So obviously the slope is the m. Remember, m is slope. So slope is going to be 2. B is equal to negative 4 because the y-intercept is b. But realize that we also have x even though it's not given, because the definition for y-intercept is the y value where x equals 0. So if the y-intercept is negative 4, then that is the y value also where x is 0. So we should have y equals 2 times 0 plus negative 4. That should give us y equals negative 4. Because 2 times 0 is 0 plus negative 4. There you go. Now the second problem, a little harder one. It asks us to find the equation of the line where the slope is equal to 1/2, and the point given is 3, negative 2. So when you have a coordinate or ordered pair, what are you looking at is an xy pair for a point along the line of the graph. And so x will be the first number in that coordinate, and y will be the second number or value in that coordinate. And so now we have y and x, and we have the slope, but we don't have the y-intercept. So in this equation, we're going to find the equation for the line, but we're going to also solve for the y-intercept. So when we plug in the givens, we have negative 2 is equal to, because negative 2 is the y value, is equal to 1/2 times 3 plus b, because b is what we're solving for. And so what we do now is that we will distribute the 1/2 into the 3, and you get 3/2 plus b is equal to -2. So now you're going to subtract 3/2 from both sides. Obviously, you have to get a common denominator so that you can add and subtract, and you get -4/2. So -4/2 minus 3/2 will give you -7/2, which is equal to b. So your formula will be either y equals uh, 3/2 minus 7/2, or it could be y equals 1/2 times 3 minus 7/2, or it could be -2 is equal to 7 to 3/2 minus 7/2. So now we're going to talk about the point-intercept form. And so we're going to basically, again, explain the different variables. Again, y is the output, m is the slope, and x is the input. But now we have this y1 and this x1. Well, going along with the y1 and x1, basically we're going to have a certain point given. And when this point is given, the value of that coordinate pair, we talked about the x, y, and the ordered pair. That coordinate pair becomes your x1, y1. And you're going to put it into this formula. Y and x usually are not going to be explained within that. And so we're going to figure out how to solve this. So using the formula y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, you're just going to plug in any givens and solve for the unknown. Usually if there's more than one unknown, you're going to solve for y. So again, here's some more problems. We're going to find the equation of the line with the slope of 2 and passes through the point 2, 0. So with the point-intercept form, we know that the point is your x1 is 2, and your y1 is 0, and your slope is 2. So you plug in the givens, and now you have y minus 0 is equal to 2 times x minus 2. And when you distribute and combine like terms, or just get rid of any unneeded information, you now have y equals 2x minus 4. And we get 2x minus 4 because when you distribute that 2 into x minus 2, you get 2x, because 2 times x, and then the minus 4 comes from 2 times the -2. So now we're going to find the equation of the line where the slope is equal to 1/2, and the point given is 3, -2. So here again we're going to plug in the information. x1 is 3, y1 is -2, and the slope is 1/2. So when we plug that in, we get y plus 2 is equal to 1/2 times x minus 3. So if we distribute that 1/2 times x minus 3, basically you get x minus 3 divided by 2. And y plus 2 is equal to x minus 3 divided by 2. And then you subtract 2 to both sides, and now you get y equals x minus 3 divided by 2 minus 2. So now we must always check our work. So first you can use a graph. Obviously the graph for the first problem, remember they were the same for the slope-intercept and the point-intercept form. I used the same problems on purpose. So as you can see here, we got the y-intercept is -4. Y equals -4. And that's when x was 0. And you can see that it's -4 along the y-axis. And when y is 0, you get an x-intercept. And as you can see, there's an x-intercept along the x-axis when the line touches the x-axis. And it seems like the x-intercept is 2. And if you look at the point-intercept form, x was equal to 2. when the y-intercept was 0. And so these are our points along the line. Here's the second problem for both the slope intercept and the point intercept. And obviously it's a little bit more, it's not as clean as the first one. But as you can see, we still have the y-intercept is -7/2, or for those who like decimals, is -3.5. And you can see as the y-axis hits right under -3 in that problem. So, so now we're going to take these two equations, these two problems, and we're going to check them by plugging in the givens again. So we're going to find the equation for the line where the slope is equal to 2 and the y-intercept is equal to -4, as well as find the equation of the line where the slope is 1/2 and the point given is 3, -2. So -4 is equal to 2 times 0 minus 4. -4 is equal to -4. Same thing with 3/2 minus 7/2 is equal to -2. -2 is equal to -4/2. -4 divided by 2 gives you a -2, so you have -2 equals -2. So now for the point intercept form, we're going to do the same thing, just check the equation, plug in the givens. So we're going to find the equation of the line with the slope of 2 and pass it through the point 2, 0, which is the x-intercept. Remember I said that earlier. We're going to find the equation of the line where the slope is equal to 1/2 and the point given is 3, -2. So let's check our work. We're going to plug in the values. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So 0 should be equal to 2 times 2 minus 4. Well, 2 times 2 gives you 4, so you should have 0 is equal to 4 minus 4. 4 minus 4 should give you 0. Okay, turned out great. -2 is equal to 3 minus 3 over 2 minus 2. 3 minus 3 over 2 should give you 0, so you should have -2 is equal to 0 over 2 minus 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. Anything that 0 divides by is going to be 0. So now you should have -2 is equal to -2. Okay. So that is the end of my lesson plans for today. I just wanted to give credit to whom credit was due for this incredible lesson. If you wanted to find any of this information, you can look all of it up on these websites. Actually, the last two graphs were not, they shouldn't have been cited because I graphed them, but this is the website, the last, where it says the last two graphs. I use webgraphing.com to graph those two graphs. So that is it.